All right, good morning. Hey, Pyros. I'm so excited to be burning with you again today. I have been working on this Highland Cow piece since January with you guys. I wanted to take you guys step by step through this process so you guys could see what it takes to make a wood burn piece, you know? If you are new to me, my name is Jannie Lisonbee. I am the artist behind Red Roof Barn. I am the founder of BurnSavvy.com and the Pyro Professor over at Burn Savvy Academy, where you can get courses and workshops and all kinds of things. We are actually going to have a retreat this year. Yay! For wood burning artists. So be watching for that. Go sign up on my email list over at burnsavvy.com and you'll be the first to know about the pyrography retreat when that comes out. With all of that said, I want to get on to this. A lot of people ask, how do you keep the bark on the wood? Because sometimes the live edge bark wants to fall off. And that's a really great question. What I use is a glue. Actually, let me snag it so I can show you. So this is the kind of glue that I use. It is a wood glue, and I will put that onto the sides and make sure that that bark stays on. Anyway, so that is a really great thing. If you guys want some of this, Bare Woods does have this. Make sure to use code SAVVY because everyone should get a discount, right? So go use it. The code is also in the description, SAVVY. The other question I get a lot is how to hang it. It's the bear claw. You just tap it into your wood and you don't have to smash your fingers with nails. So it kind of looks like this. Bare Woods also has these, and then you can just take this and tap it in. You know how sometimes you have sawtooth hangers and they've got nails on either side and you have to mush your finger in and tap it in? I hate those. They hurt my fingers. So I use these. If you have a larger piece, you can use the Hangman picture hanger that comes with D-rings and it comes with wire. Those are a couple of quick tips that I just wanted to share. For this one, I am going to be using the shading nib, and I'm going to turn on my burner. I'm using basswood, which burns pretty low heat. So I'm going to turn this down to about a 4.5. And we're going to burn in this fir. If you guys saw my recent YouTube video, not the one I just put up, but the one right before that, it's all about the basic wood burning techniques. And these are the techniques that I teach in my courses. And I'm giving you a taste of it. Now, people often ask too, what's the difference between a detailer and the Colwood Super Pro? Because those are two of their most popular machines, right? And the biggest difference are the Colwood Detail or the Colwood Super Pro has a higher heat. So, you know, its number 10 is going to be higher than the number 10 on the Colwood Detailer, right? The other big difference is that the Super Pro has 2 pen plugins and the Detailer only has 1. Okay, let's see here. I think I want the fur to come a little more back this way and then down. So I'm going to do that. And I'm having to hold my hand up, so I'm going to grab one of these bean bags. That helps me to raise my wrist to the level of my burn. Now, if this cow has fur that goes in the other direction, that's going to be just fine. Nobody cares, right? That's not important because I'm not doing a portrait of a cow. I'm doing a cow, right? There we go. I want a little bit of longer fur kind of by this cheek a little bit. Not tons of it, but a little bit. So for those of you who may be wondering, this is called the swinging stroke, and I'm swinging back and forth. Something that I think every pyrographer should be aware of too, especially if you're new, is about mistakes. Mistakes happen, and they happen to the professionals as well as the beginners. And one of the biggest differences between a professional and a beginner is the beginner will try to fix the mistake right away. We'll try to erase it, which, you know, how do you erase on pyrography, right? You have to do something like use like sandpaper or chisel or razor blade or things like that, right? A professional will try to work it into the art piece and just go with it. And for the most part, that works. And I tell you what, the moment that I really started just working my mistakes into my art pieces, man, things started going so much faster. It makes such a huge difference. I also go over that in my shading course. In the Learn and Burn, I teach you go light, low, and slow. In the shading course, I teach you how to go faster. You still need to start light, low, and slow. But if you want to pick things up, I tell you all about how to do that. When I go slower, it goes darker though. See that? And then so I'm gonna slow down a little bit, and that makes it dark, right? And then I can speed up, and it's light. See that? I've got some little dark spots here, but I'm not worried about that because I'm gonna work those in. I just wanted to demonstrate how I'm going darker and then faster, darker and then faster. This is the sweeping motion. So that's one of the biggest things that that you can do to help with the heat. Really, the best thing is to make sure you have heat control, because if you don't have the heat control, like I didn't, and it would not go very low. So I had a really hard time getting some of this lighter texture. I had to go so fast and touch the wood so lightly. It really, really made my wrist cramp up. Let's see. Oh, are you using something as reference? That is a great question. Yes, I am. Here we go. Just images that I have used. Clearly, this is not the same cow, right? It does not look the same, but it gives me kind of an idea of, okay, just a refresher of what kind of texture that I would use. Okay, and now one thing that when you have a rounded surface, you typically have light on both sides. And so I'm going to shade this using the scumbling stroke, and I'm just going to shade it lightly. I'll clean this up and add more detail a little bit later. That's part of the process. And then once I have a little bit of that lighter shadow, right, this side's going to be light and this side is going to be kind of a reflected shadow. This is meant to be pretty rough because usually the horns on a cow, they've got a lot of texture to it. So I'm not looking for a perfectly smooth horn here. I want to get a little bit smaller rounds in there. So I'm going to turn off my burner and switch the nib. I'm going to use the small round shader. So I'm going to switch that out real quick. So I'm going to blend that in just a little bit. And it's okay to have that texture, right? Like we talked about. So now I'm going to bring this out a little bit further. I think I'm going to add a little more darkness this way and bring it in. Keep this side light, like we talked about, right? The circular things have a light side. I need to differentiate this from the background. I'm going to darken that up, but I'm also going to darken up this because I really want to make sure I have some contrast in there, right? I burn lots of different kinds of wood. My favorite is willow, but willow is really hard to find. I struggle to be able to find willow. I love basswood. I love poplar and birch. Those are all really good. I take it back. I don't love birch. A lot of people love birch. The biggest thing is that it's got a smooth grain. This is something that I talk about in my free course, the Beginner Wood Burning Art Challenge, that you guys are also welcome to take. And that it talks about different kinds of wood and what you want to have in the, what you want to look for in wood. Now that course is probably not going to be free forever, so go jump in while it's still open. It talks about wood and tools and all kinds of other things, because those are all influential in helping you get past those blobby lines. Okay? So go check that out. You have to make sure that your technique is on point, because if your technique is not on point, it's going to be really hard. Let's see, were there any other questions? Okay, not that I see right now. All right, and it looks like our burning time is close here. I want to see if I can get a few more things done. I hope to see you there. I hope to see you in the challenge and in the retreat when that comes. So we'll be watching. Thanks again for joining. Later, Pyro.